make decisions. Give us the courage that we need to do always what is right, and to put every work of ours under your divine blessing. We ask this in your name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you very much. Okay, is there any additions to the agenda?
I'd like to request a 20-minute executive session.
Under
The attorney-client.
Under you, ma'am? Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. And this department, I would just like to...
No, wait a minute.
Oh,
We need to have a motion.
we don't do all of them together?
Oh, I'm sorry.
All the changes or additions in
I
your...
have something more.
Well, I was just going to give an update. Do I need to write that down on the police department?
You're not going to take action.
No. Okay.
I'll
So,
move.
is there any other additions?
I'll move to approve the additions.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. Thanks, council. Consent agenda, Jonna.
Approve the minutes of the regular meeting of January 3rd, 2012. Approve appropriation ordinance 011712 in the amount of $14,890.09. And to approve appropriation ordinance 1231-2011 in the amount of $9,347.45. So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye. All those opposed say no. Thank you. Is there any citizen comments this evening? Administration.
Okay, first item would be, I'd like to ask the council as far as, let's go ahead and advertise for the seasonal mowing we do on the people that don't do their yard work, where we have to send out the weed letters and everything. We've done that on a bid type basis, and you're just working out real good for us, frees us up for other things. So it's okay with council, we'll go ahead and advertise the meeting for that.
Good with that?
All right, thank you. Okay, next I'd like to request a 20-minute executive session, attorney-client for possible litigation. Including myself, counsel, mayor, attorney, and John.
I'll move.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say no. Order. Is there anything else?
No, I didn't.
Is there any questions from Mel this evening? Thanks, Mel. Administration, Donna.
Okay, on there you can see I have a sound system, and what that is about is several years ago, it was suggested that we try to do a sound system uptown where we can use it year-round, but Jubilee and so forth, you can hear. You know, if you're at Jubilee now, we have a system that'll carry a little ways, but it's not adequate for sure, but we make it work. But when we were doing something uptown with the volleyball girls,
Oh.
you know, there was somebody that had said, you know, that'd be great if we had a sound system. I thought, okay. We had gotten an estimate. Bill Clausen worked with us to get an estimate, of which it was long enough ago that wouldn't have been even close now. I'm just bringing it back up because it was brought up to me, and as well, we do have funds that can be used for that. The Cornwall Fund is specific for the parks and this uptown area. And so there is the principal amount stays, and we can use the interest. And right now we have about $28,000 in interest that can be used for up here. So it's kind of, I didn't want to go to go to anybody to try to start trying to find bids, because it's certainly out of my expertise. I'd have to get somebody who knows more about the equipment.
Can you remember what the last estimate was even close to?
I think it was around 9,000, wasn't it, Neil?
I was gonna say 20 or something.
Yeah. And I can't even tell you all the components of it. I wasn't clerk at the time, so, I wasn't in on any of the discussions, but I know that there's systems with, remote microphones. We could have speakers that could be out, so we wouldn't have to carry things out. I'm sure there's been, with technology, there's been all kinds of things that has changed since that last bid. But I just wanted to get the feel here, because if you're thinking that that's something you'd like to do, and we're willing to spend the money out of the Cornwall Fund, it would be great if we could go ahead and get that in place for Jubilee. If not this year, next year, but.
Yes.
I do recall that one of the options, or one thing that was looked at was, like around Christmas time or whatever, these speakers, we could have it set up to where Christmas music could be played and you could hear it around the square, and so it'd be something that would be more than just Jubilee type thing.
I think that'd be pretty cool.
I think we-
Yes, Dawn.
Does everybody remember the speaker system we had 30
Yes.
years ago? Yeah. Of course, they were the old wooden speakers that were hanging up there that, weren't weatherproof.
Yeah.
But it was nice. I mean, it was different.
I think it'd be really nice, no matter what it would be used for year-round for the city of St. John. So.
I enjoy it when I go other places where there's
Yeah.
beaches.
I think
Makes
it'd
me
be-
buy more.
I think it'd be good to have something like that. I mean, it'd be a lot of fun for the community, and especially during Christmas time or Jubilee, of course.
Well, like I say, for anything
Anything, yeah.
it would be for downtown.
And if we have it, we might come up with more uses for it,
Oh, absolutely.
But without having it, we just don't think about it.
Well, I would, do you want a motion or do you just need?
We can have a consensus, until we would accept a bid or something, we would need a motion, but if we have a consensus of it, you want me to go ahead and.
I'd like for you to at least look into it and see what you.
Yeah, I'd say look into it.
Is that pretty much consensus, or Kevin?
I don't have a problem with looking.
Well, I don't have a problem looking, but I think we've got enough other projects going that we don't need to be spending $10,000 on a speaker system.
Well, it's coming out of that fund, Troy.
Still, just because the money's there doesn't mean we need to spend it on a
No.
speaker system.
No, I know what you mean. I know
I
exactly.
Like I said, we got a water project and a bunch of other things that are going, and we just,
And this
I mean,
money
it seems
can't be
kind of
spent on
frivolous
that.
just trying to spend $10,000 on.
This money that's in the fund right there can only be spent on something like this.
Yes.
Whether I don't see.
It cannot be spent for anything in
Sewer,
water, light, or
right,
general, or anything else.
Because it's there, doesn't mean we need to spend it.
You said it was which fund?
The Cornwall
The
Fund.
Cornwall Fund, number 16.
It's drawn.
Are you looking at, which one are you on?
Yeah, it says Cornwall.
If you look at this,
Look at the front
Interest
sheet.
rate.
you
Yeah.
can see Fund 16,
Mhm.
there's our interest for the year, and of course, interest rates are down, but
I think the original corpus was about 167.
182 something.
182.
Okay. Is there anything else, John? Police Department. Adam, is there anything to see?
Yes, the legislature has implemented, made it mandatory for a new racial
well, it used to be racial profiling policy, now they're calling it bias-based policing. Basically, by May 26th of this year, all police departments have to have a new policy in place. It's really not a big deal because it's, for the most part, a blanket policy that we have to tweak some things to make it specific to our department or our community. But one of the things that lines out is that the governing body or the city as a whole has an option of having a community advisory board that can have some input in some of the things that are in the policy, how that goes. It's not one of the things that are mandated in the policy. That's one of the things that are left up to the decision of the department and the city. But I wanted to hear your guys' opinion if that's something you would like to do. If not, I mean, it's just kind of you guys. It is something that if you do have it, then they do mandate a little bit on how it's set up. As far as you have to have, different, whatever your ethnic population is of the city has to have representation from that. At least one city leader from the governing body, of course, the head of the police department and all that. So it can be, the policy can be put in place, no problems without it, or if that's something you guys would like to see done, it can be done with the advisory board as well. And I know May 26th sounds like a long way away, but if you were to decide to do that, then it would be something that would have to get going because it's going to take some time commitment to do that.
How often would that advisory board have to meet, or?
They would just have to decide on that.
Yeah. It's just kind of all up to that. Once you get
it going, then, it mandates that the police department, a representative, somebody from the police department has to provide that board with training on the policy, how the policy works, what bias-based policing is, all that kind of stuff. Most of the bigger departments have had these for a while. My opinion is, I don't see it as completely necessary because one, we've never had a complaint whatsoever as far as racial profiling. Two, we really don't have that racially diverse of a community, and I don't foresee in the future us having any complaints. So, but I want to throw that out there. If that's something you guys would want to do, then we can. If not,
Would you recommend, Don?
Can we do it, can we adopt the policy without having to have the advisory committee? I think that, in this town, I think that's all you really need.
right, and I agree, but it's, like I said, because they don't, that's not statutorily something that has to be in there, but, it's an option they throw out there, and the Attorney General suggested approaching the council and getting their opinion.
Okay. How does council feel?
I'm fine with not having an advisory committee.
Same here.
Kevin?
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks, Adam.
Yep.
Appreciate that.
So for the minutes, it's kind of a consensus that you'll
Just
Adopt the policy without.
okay, so you'll bring the policy for them to actually review and adopt then? Okay, thank you. What did you call it, biracial?
No, bias-based policing.
Bias-based
Yeah.
policing. I knew I wasn't right. Okay, bias. Okay.
Is there any questions for Adam this evening? Thanks, Adam.
Good.
I just want to give council a little bit of an update too. We are getting quite a few applications in for chief, and would you like to put a deadline on when we need to quit accepting applications? How many do you think we got in, John? Is that irrelevant?
It really is.
Okay.
I'd say probably anytime.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know how
You've
long
advertised
it
for,
We advertised that it would be open until it was filled.
takes. Yeah.
So whenever you start, if you got a batch and you guys want to start checking references or whatever, then, we'll hold the rest,
Okay.
as things go. If you fill it and we get more applications, then we can send a letter back saying the position's been filled.
Okay.
I think that's probably how we need to do it.
Sounds good.
I mean, we can't like not take them if
Correct,
we haven't filled it yet.
correct.
You might want
So
to
we
just
can quit
adopt.
advertising them, can we?
Oh, we quit
Quit
advertising, yes. We only advertise for 2
February 1,
weeks.
you got a meeting February 3rd, that way.
Okay, February 1, we have a meeting February 3rd.
Or no, February 7th.
February-
7th. February
February
7th.
7th.
Yeah, I give you a week to
Okay.
start doing the initial background.
Yes. Okay, I just want to give you an update. Alrighty. Fire department, Michael didn't have anything this evening. Legal, Dawn?
I don't know anything. The only thing that we do have, City Hall Day coming up at the league, the first part of February. I don't know if anybody will want to try and attend that. That's at least where you have a chance to have a legislator and discuss current issues or issues that are relevant to the area, so.
And where's that at, Wichita?
No, it's in Topeka.
In Topeka,
It's, they call it Capitol Hill Day or State
Oh, that's
House Day
right.
or,
Yes.
you know, so, I mean, it's, we're probably good for at least somebody from the city to go to at least kind of see what's going on, so. I think it's the first or second, it's coming up pretty quick.
Okay.
You could, I think you can sign up on the LKM website.
Okay. Is there any questions for Dawn this evening? Any new business, old business, Mel?
If you want to do the number 2 first, or I have something on number 3. So,
Number 2, the change of venue for, no, we're done with council, or on number 2. Number 3?
okay. In your packet was some information.
Oh, my bad.
You want-
I read that
Stop.
wrong. Yeah, you do.
All right, I'll stop.
Okay, the change of venue for council meetings. John and Mel and myself visited with Garland today about the shell building over here. We went in to see if the bathrooms were, yeah, accessible. And Mel did some measurements. If they're not, the stalls are not. If council chooses to have meetings over there, we would ask the lodge if we could make them accessible. So the bathroom's accessible. Everything else is though, isn't it?
There is a door that's in the hallway that's in there.
Oh, one door that is too narrow. So, other than that, nice big meeting room and bathrooms would just have to be taken care of. I mean, if we chose to meet over there, they could always come to the bathroom below here in the city office until we got something changed over there with the bathrooms.
I know Mel has talked with Dr. Kenworthy over at the school regarding the library.
Yes.
The library has already got space available. They put it down so nobody else can use it during the times. Don't know if you've gotten any more information, Mel, from anybody from Dr. Kenworthy? on
No,
that?
he was just kind of waiting on this. I think he said it would be available. We just need to let it know.
If you have an executive session, is there a room over there to
Yes,
recess to?
yes.
It would be open?
Actually, I think citizens would have to leave and we just stay in that room. If it's the same room that we have our bus meetings in, and I think it is, that's where the school board has our meetings. And, if you choose to have it at the Shell building, we could write a letter to the lodge and ask them if we, could have that.
There are rooms available upstairs at the library that we could use for executive session,
Yeah.
so.
Well, the school board must have something set up that they use for executive
Well, I
session.
think they just clear the room.
See, that's
Everybody else
what-
has to be.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, that's an option.
Yeah. So,
I would like to move that we take the library up on its offer to host the council meetings over there.
Is that a motion?
Yes.
Okay. Is there a second?
I'll second it. In which room did you say? They'll tell us.
They'll tell us. It's one room.
In the community room,
We could either have it in the community or where the BOE meets. And that's kind of like in here.
It's in the basement,
Yeah.
Kevin. It's in the basement, and it's a room probably about this size, if not smaller. And they have a table already set up, and
The
So-
school board room.
that's
Yeah.
school board meeting room.
That's what I went and looked at.
So you went and looked at that? Yeah. So,
We were in there the other day doing some work.
Right.
So, yeah, so you
Yeah.
any more discussion?
I think we need to take into consideration, though, the difficulty of it being in a separate facility than here.
For these two.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah, I agree.
Yeah. I mean, I think if we could work something out to where we could meet downstairs, would be better than them having to haul all of their stuff over there every time. And then, you know, we get over there, maybe we need something, they have to come all the way back to get it.
Well, on that, I've never seen, since I've been attending meetings and since I've been on the council, I've never seen John or Mel unprepared. I mean, what, once?
Well,
I
I'm
mean,
not
they're usually
saying they're
prepared.
unprepared.
No, I understand that, but
I'm not
if
saying
they're,
that.
but
But they
if there's
have-
something that they need, they're usually prepared for just about everything.
Okay, but what I'm saying is when you don't have ownership in the facility you're meeting in, you can't store any of this anywhere. You have to haul it every time. You don't, you know, it's just, it is gonna be more work for them. I don't understand, I guess, why we can't see if we can't do something downstairs.
And also too, I mean, sometimes I'm here at 6:15 and John and Mel bring stuff up and we'll be sitting here and next thing you know, well, got that, we gotta go down and get that, or, you know, so, I mean, I agree with Amy. It's really convenient for Mel and John both. If we do need something, it's downstairs. I mean, whether it be our ordinances or codes or whatever, they'd have to haul them books back and forth.
I've just had to do it for many years, haul stuff, boxes to some place where I mean, some other place, and it does make it hard. I mean, I can't argue the fact that we need to do something. I'm all in agreement for that, but I'm not sure I'm real ready to make that move yet.
All right, and that's what his motion would be, to accept their offer.
Yes.
And move? Okay. How much remodeling would you have to do down there to get a wheelchair through that counter?
Through
Oh,
ours,
Yeah.
That's
okay.
already,
we can make that so, I think the main issue is the room.
The
You know,
space.
it's, and I think
how we would use
we would
the
have to
space.
look at it and see if things could be rearranged to do
I
it.
think if you would be willing to entertain the idea of making some minor changes down there, like adding some casework on the walls, or, you know, looking at maybe some new file cabinets that don't take up so much floor space, getting some of that up off the floor, you know, or not use, you know, rearranging it so less is used. I think you could make some space down there for a nice meeting area and reconfigure a few things.
And if we're not using this room for council, we could use maybe for part of our storage of some of the file cabinets that we don't use all the time.
They won't use it for city court.
Well, not if you have a space downstairs.
And
And
that-
you're talking about the same thing. If you're worried about accessibility now, you've got that for court too.
I figured city court was during business hours, and you wouldn't want to be interrupted with your office.
We have already, you know, we have court downstairs when we have somebody who's not able to make the steps, whether they're disabled or not. If it's going to be difficult for them, we just hear it downstairs.
There's a motion on the table, is there any more discussion?
The motion that's on the table is for the library.
I've changed my mind. I don't think we're ready to make that decision yet.
I think that we still have a motion.
Yep.
Any more discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say no.
No.
Okay. Number 3, private well, water well.
Yes, there was some information in your package. Don had drawn up an ordinance on regulating construction of water wells and ordinance adopting Stafford County Environmental Sanitary Code for certain installation within the city's limits of St. John. To do this, Stafford County for a number of years has had a Stafford County Environmental Sanitary Code, and the people that helps them administer that is the Central Kansas Local Environmental Planning Group. And I think I mentioned this before, that if we would adopt their code, and with these ordinances that Don has drawn up, I've talked to Robert Mitchell, who's my contact with that group, and anything that we adopt as far as this, they will enforce. In other words, you had mentioned about the 100-foot distance from a structure or dwelling for a well. And right now, the county is 50 feet. And it was indicated that anything that we do pertaining to the city, they will enforce. So if we want to be more stringent, that's not a problem. And they will come out, in other words, if somebody would want to put in a well, for a permit fee of $100, they will make sure, they will do the inspection and meet with the driller and make sure that it's put into the state requirements. You know, right now, all that's required is they have to be a licensed driller. But they would take care of any inspection of the actual drilling and permitting, but it'd be the $100 fee for that, and that would cover even if there was a situation where we didn't have sewer available and a septic system would be put in, they would handle all of that. But so, Don, do you have anything to add to that?
No, I mean, these mainly were just for discussion purposes at this point. If you guys, as far as the water well drilling, the guidelines are in place pretty much with the state of Kansas in the license, in requiring someone that has a license to drill a water well. If you require that, then there are certain standards that they have to abide by under the state regulations. What this would do would allow the inspector a little bit of flexibility, because our water tables are so shallow here. It would allow them to require grouting, to meet the local specs. It would maybe require them to specify where the casing's perforated, for what level, for what purpose. I mean, if you're only going to be irrigated, you don't need to be in a good water zone. You can be in the top 2 water zones possibly. So a lot of that would give some flexibility to the inspector to regulate, how deep the well is, the grouting, to protect the water zones. So it's not rocket science, but it would require some local specifications to be drafted, because these zones vary, anywhere in the county, those zones are going to vary. So it would require some local geology to be inputted into the requirements.
And this Robert Mitchell did say if the council had any questions or anything, that he'd be willing to come to a meeting
the other code, the other ordinance, basically all I did there was to, on the sanitary code, was just to adopt the county's regulations for those, and it only applied to those places in the city that is not close enough to be hooked up to the public system. So we've got some holes in the public system that, people are isolated enough, they have to have their own septic system, and it would generally just be adopting the county code. Now, if you want to space that further apart, we can do that pretty easily. This is for discussion only, and if you guys want to, I didn't put any section numbers in here because I really didn't know how far you wanted to take this, or if you wanted to not do it. We're just waiting for input from you guys. So, if you don't want to do it, that's fine.
I didn't have a problem with it. I thought it sounded pretty good. You guys want to discuss them, or you guys want to accept them? Want to wait till the next time?
Let's table it until later dates, we can look at it.
Do you want this guy to come visit with you, or? Don't think so? Okay. So are you making a motion to table?
Yeah, I'll make a motion to table.
Second.
All those in favor say aye. All those opposed say no.